Man. The first time we did this, it was like, okay, cool. But here we are again in the second time. So I think when you do something a second time, it means a lot, right? Especially when you make sure that you keep it consistent. Consistent is always a challenging thing for many people. But I say that because we have someone here as another special guest who's for sure a consistent gentleman who's on his adventure, on his purpose, Mr. Manny. How you doing, brother?
Bro, I'm blessed. We alive. It's another day.
Yeah,
Another day, another opportunity.
yeah, yeah. Talk to me about just life, dog. What's life been looking like for you?
Shoot, man, I think when you go through certain things in life, the good and the bad, but especially the bad, once you make it through it, it just makes you stronger.
Mm.
And when it makes you stronger, it's kind of like a cannon moment or like
Yeah,
an event that just changes your mindset. That it's like every single day every single person in this world has a different perspective about how their day is. Some people are waking up dreading going to work. Some people are waking up happy that they even have the opportunity to go to work, you know?
for sure.
So having that mindset of just abundance and just life, like I woke up, I'm like, dang, I'm alive. Like some people didn't wake up today. So like, hey,
Yeah,
today's gonna be a good day, you know?
yeah.
Life's good. I'm blessed. I do have problems. I do have downfalls in my life, but that's life. That's the
Right,
journey. You got to
right.
embrace it. I love having problems
Yeah,
at this point because it's
uh,
we alive, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. That's a good mindset to have. I figured out something like that recently that came across my attention. How life can be very exhilarating in that type of way. You have such a positive mindset with that. I guess I'll ask that question to kind of dive in super early towards a deep question, as far as saying what pushes you to keep that mindset going to stay so positive. Because like you said, life has its challenges. And so with life having its type of challenges, how do you keep that drive going?
Oh man, I so you almost gotta change the channel of your mind, right?
Okay.
It's like you know how TVs be like channel 8, channel 29 was Cartoon Network. Change the channel to
Hmm.
the channel of the superhero version of yourself that has every problem in the world thrown at them. Every problem in the world, and it's up to you to overcome it. So it's like when a problem comes, I'm like, this would happen, you know? It's supposed to happen because I'm a superhero and I gotta overcome that. It's kind of like if everybody changed their mindset like that, I think you'll overcome so much more in such a better way. For instance, I had a real bad concussion last year. Still going. I had a doctor's visit a couple days ago about it because I be forgetting everything. But I'm like, it's crazy because it's like a metal locker fell and hit me in the head. Like from the wind, a metal locker came, hit me in the head. It's like the most craziest freak accident. But through all that, that struggle and the pain of going through it, my mindset was always, I'm gonna overcome this, you know, stay prayed up, stay waking up and keeping my routine. I think when people's lives get all scattered, they fall off of the routine. No, dial in. That's when you got dialed in even more. Make sure you're exercising. Make sure that you're drinking your water. Make sure that you're taking time to yourself, you know, having your devotion and taking time to, you know, really hone in on overcoming everything, you know. You're a superhero, so you have to save the world.
Was this always a mindset that you kept for a long duration of time, or did it just switch like you said before when life hit, like whenever that was the superhero moment, as you stated, whenever you watch the movie? It's very interesting because in the beginning what it's like to tell the story, and you kind of have the idea of what the ending may end up being like from that movie. However, there's always that middle part. Do you feel like that's where life happened for you? That middle part, whenever the superhero was, or the hero was, come across those challenges. Do you feel like that was it for you? That
Yeah.
moment?
Crap no, bro.
No,
Crap no, bro.
no.
Like look, so how I think about this is like you go through certain things in life
Yeah.
that really just shifts everything. And for me, I was bullied middle school, high school. I weighed like 98 pounds. I went to 4 different high schools. One of the high schools really like they got me because a kid stepped in pee with their shoe, took it off, wiped it on my shirt.
Mm.
Another kid took shoestrings and choked me out with it. And it was to the point where I think that there's certain things that happen in people's lives, that are such pain or extreme that that's going to determine who you are really deep inside, because some people crumble under pressure. That flight or fight, like some people just they freeze up, and some people are like, no, I'm gonna fight,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like you see a truck run over a little kid, and you'll be surprised that a mom could probably pick it up if they see that in the adrenaline rush. That's that fight,
Yeah.
but I think for me, everybody's journey is so different. Everybody is so different backgrounds. So find what that pain was for you or whatever it was, and ask yourself, did you overcome it? And if 100 people were given that same exact circumstance, predicament, you have to be that one that overcomes it.
Yeah.
Most people crumble. I feel like what I went through last year was just crazy, bro.
Mm.
Losing your job. Imagine getting a concussion. You can't even work. You're laying in your bed for 4 months plus. You're losing all your money, and it's like the world is like crumbling, but the world is still going.
Yeah.
Whether you're here on this earth or not, the world is still spinning.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out nobody is coming, especially as a man.
Mm.
Nobody, not one person offered to pay my rent. And I wasn't expecting nobody to either.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's like, okay, like when you're in that ocean, and this is like my mindset, when you're in that ocean and there's sharks all around you, you in the boat, storming, raining, there's two types of people. Some who's gonna give up and some who's gonna paddle and figure out how to get out of there. So I think I didn't have it my whole life. If you talk to me, 17-year-old version of me, scared, timid, had their head down, didn't talk to people and look them in their eyes, didn't speak with confidence, didn't believe in themselves.
Mm.
And it's almost a certain level of delulu that you got to have to believe in yourself, because a lot of people don't believe in themselves. A lot of people think that it's being cocky. No, it's being confident. Being cocky is thinking you're better than others. Being confident is thinking that you're better than the version of you that you once were.
You said life pretty much as a man a little bit. I like that. Can you do me a solid? I'm just gonna separate it a little bit, but we're gonna start off with the first one because it's gonna transition to different phases of your life. So, what was life like for you as a kid, and then what was life? What is life for you as a man?
Mm. Um, I would say as a kid, I'm grateful for my parents. Um, I could speak on my upbringing
Yeah.
because both of my parents were in my life. They both were together. They've been together 28, 29 years now. I'm 28. Both of my parents spent time engraving morals and values in me in a way that I feel like a lot of households are lacking. My dad spent time teaching me how to, work on cars, how to cut the grass, how to, take out the trash. I mean, it's simple stuff, but it was more so a lesson behind it. He would just sit me down and lecture me, and I hated that crap, bro. Bro, I hated that crap. Like my dad would come to my office, and I'd sit down. He would lecture me for 2 hours plus. I would fall asleep, wake back up, and he's still talking. So I hated it. But one thing my dad said that I would never forget, and like he said, I'm raising a man, not a mouse. And he always was tough on me. I had 3 younger sisters. He was tough on me, like tough. You would think that he was in the military the way he was, but um, he told me, he said, son, as a man, you just got to figure it out. People are going to depend on you. People are going to be coming into you for their problems. Figure it out. And I see how he doesn't. He be stressed about it. But like I see his family comes and asks him for this, for that, for this, and he figures it out. He says nobody's gonna feel bad for you as a man. Like people will say, oh, like nah, like figure it out and understand that Whether you're sad, happy, mad, you still have to wake up and go to work the next day. You still
Yeah.
have to make it happen. And my mom, such a sweet lady. Like anybody who ever met my mom, sweetest lady in the world. Taught me how to cook, how to treat people, nurturing, caring. My dad knows how to treat people well too, but my mom's a little bit more nurturing and caring and forgiving. So that combination, that yin to the yang, it was so beautiful because it's like, okay, we get stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire. Oh, I know how to fix it. I know how to handle that. But okay, I have a certain level of understanding and being able to meet people where they're at. That empathy that my mom engraved. So that's my upbringing as a kid. But then on top of that, I think my parents always tried to protect me. And it kind of, in a way, because I was homeschooled. A lot of people don't know I was homeschooled up until like the 5th grade, but kind of kept me in a way where I couldn't learn from my mistakes sometimes. But then once I was able to get out there and go to college, I was realizing, okay, this is really what it's like being a man. My dad was telling me about how to be a man, but this is when you're actually doing the actions and actually out on your own. This is what it takes. So, you know, being out on your own, moving into your first apartment, getting your first big job, paying your bills and all that stuff that adulting, we've been doing it now for a little while, but back as a kid, we never really thought about that stuff. Being a man is just, I like receiving problems and solving problems. And what's the next problem? Let's fix it. That's what it is. Fixing and building.
How'd you get to that area? Well, let me back up a little bit before I use that one. So, with the transition from you as a kid growing into the man that you are today, it results itself in alignment of what it's like to have a good set purpose in life. It seems like. How were you able to define your purpose?
Oh yeah. Man, purpose is so critical and important. When you lose your purpose, it's almost like, in a way, like your life, you're losing your life in a way, because it's like your purpose is the driving factor of, okay, what am I doing next? What am I, going after next? For me, I noticed one of my biggest purposes was helping people, helping young men in particular 2x their life. Like, what I mean is like the 2.0 version of them that we all have in us. I'm not even that 2.0 version of myself. There's days
Mm.
where I'm lacking, but like in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I was to do everything I wanted to do and set out to do, what would that look like? I'll be on top of my fitness. I'll be on top of my business. I'll be on top of my family and building and bonding and relationships and all that. Um, for me, when I discovered my purpose was back probably beginning of college. I would go back in DC. I would go and speak to the high school students and help them with their schoolwork, play football with them, play basketball with them. And it was like in DC, there was a lot of communities where minorities were struggling just in, their upbringing, getting in trouble with the law and all that. So I was, trying to teach them about the importance of the friends you hang out. Like a good, homework assignment for everybody, listen to this, watching this, is grab a sheet of paper, write down your top 5 friends, and write down, are they elevating you, keeping you stagnant, or bringing you down, and write out why. Yeah, they could be your friends, but you got to have a real level of like self awareness and self audit. Like some of my friends, I'm telling you, they be bringing me down in a way, but they're still my friends. But like, I know I got to keep that, keep it limited. Otherwise, you hang out with 5 people that's bringing you down, you going, you know what they say. You hang out with 5 bums, you're gonna be the sixth. You hang out with 5 millionaires, you're gonna be the sixth.
Mm.
So I try to surround myself with people who are on a purpose, who are, driven, ambitious, who don't need to be called by their mom in the morning to be told to make their bed.
Yeah, yeah. Was the mission always like that whenever you were at that young age in life where you were able to discover that for other people? Because like you said, you were able to tap in with that for yourself. Were you in that position to do the same for those others in that space where you noticed that they weren't in that area where you were, and now you're like, okay, cool. Let me try to uplift this individual. Was it like that?
I would say it kind of grows over time. If this answers your question, it kind of when I was 19, first starting out talking to high school students, I was nowhere near where I am today. And I'm
God,
still not where I want to be. Like,
interesting. Yeah,
I have so much that I want to accomplish. And it's almost like
man,
if I tell certain people about it, they'll be like, "Oh, you're crazy. That's too
that's deep.
much." That's no, no, no. If people don't think that you're crazy or people don't think that your vision is so big, your vision is small.
Yeah.
You want something that's so out the water, out the blue that it's like, whoa, like that's a lot. Like that's crazy, you know. But when I was 19 around that time, I was giving them gems that would have helped me when I was 15.
Mm,
That would have helped me when I was 16. Like I didn't know as much as I do today, and I still don't know a lot. I would never, nobody does. We are all figuring it out. Like everybody is figuring it out. I want people to make decisions for themselves and learn on their own. Don't even take everything that I'm saying and be like, oh, that's the right way. Like, no, we all figuring it out. But for me, I tried to give them gems that would help the younger version of myself. So even today, I'm mentoring a guy out all over Georgia, India, Cali, China, like mentoring guys are all over the world. Um, and one thing I always ask them is there's a version of you in the future and there's a version of you in the past, and you have to make them both proud.
mm,
What would that look like?
mm. That's good.
I make them sit with themselves and right. I give them a journal book, kind of write that out. What would it look like to make the version of you in the future and the version of you in the past satisfied with the version of you now?
That's good.
And do that right now today.
Yeah.
Don't procrastinate it. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that if I went back to 21, I would do so differently, man. I would do so differently. And that's one thing I encourage a lot of people. It's like, with everything that you do it in the moment, you know? Every person you run into, you never know when the last time you're going to see them. Be so present, be so in the moment and embrace that. Because you just never know. Life is short, and your last, oh, I'll see you later, bro, could be your last, I see you later, and you don't even know it.
Mm,
There's people in high school who you used to be real close with who you haven't talked to in years,
yeah.
and you didn't know that last time was the last time.
Yeah.
So,
I read this book called Mastery by Robert Greene. I never forget how fascinating it was to me. And the book pretty much discusses about, of course, you being the master of your own universe in a way. At that young age, when it hit you for that moment, was that something to where you always, like where you are today? Did you see that at 19, where you are today? You accomplishing these things? Because you've accomplished a lot. You know
man,
what I mean?
sometimes I have to sit down and like really think because stuff is happening so fast. Like day by day, it's always something new. But sometimes I sit down because in my apartment, I have like 17 different poster boards. Ones where all my goals are, ones where all the stuff that I've already accomplished, ones with all the obstacles that I have to overcome. And like like it's so many different poster boards that I use to try to keep track of how far I've came. But I know there's like a long journey ahead. And to the outside world, they're like, "Oh, this dude's on it. This dude's on top of it." But to me, I'm like, and this might just be a problem with extremely ambitious people. It's like there's so much more I want to go after. Um, the 19-year-old version of me would have never thought I would be where I am today. Like,
Hmm.
not
How
I
come?
didn't know. I mean, sometimes stuff happens in life that you don't even expect or you're not even trying to go after, and the door just opens for it, and you're like, whoa, well, I'll check out this door. For instance, modeling. It was kind of super spontaneous. Like, they reached out to me to model in New York Fashion Week. It's like, here's the flight, here's the hotel. I thought it was fake at first, so I'm like, okay. They're like, no, here's your flight confirmation. So my adventurous self, a lot of people might not do this, but I was like, you know what? I'll take the chance. Let me go. Caught the flight to New York, met up with the designer, and ended up walking in New York Fashion Week in front of over 80 plus cameras. That was my first time,
Yeah.
but I embraced it, and it also allows you to grow, because every time you do a podcast, you're going to get a little bit better. Every time you shoot a basketball, you're going to get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
When you first start out, that's the hardest because you don't know what's going on.
Mm.
You don't, and this goes with anything. When you first start that job, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're giving you all these different formulas, all these different tasks, and you're like, whoa. But as you do it more and more, repetition, that's where consistency. I know I'm jumping around a lot,
Nah, you're good. You're good.
but consistency is better than motivation, because if you could say every 3 days I'm going to post on Instagram, no matter what, every single 3 days for a year, in a year you'll have 100 posts. You know, you stay consistent with that. That's going to outbeat somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to post every day for a month, and then they just stop or they just fall off. So find a plan, a game plan, and stick to it, like non-negotiables. Like, this has to happen, you know? Um, yeah, so I know I said a lot.
No, that was awesome, dude.
Bear
No,
with me.
no, it's good. It's good because, well, okay. So, like I said, I've been able to just study that a little bit more into depth as far as just how we move. Like you said, everybody's so different and so uniquely made. And so, what I've learned to embrace is, like you said, you didn't see it at 19, but could it have been possible that you saw a little bit of your future when you were younger than 19, like maybe when you were 13 or maybe when you were 7?
And I would say, um, there was instances where I had a vision for myself, and it doesn't go perfectly as planned,
Okay.
you know? But at least when I started working out, I had no clue. Like, when I first started, I was just doing it to get rid of the anger I have for being bullied. And I was just like, I'm just going to work out. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every night.
Mm.
I'm just going to get stronger. And I kept on doing it, kept on doing it, kept on doing it. And then you don't notice how much you change over a month, over a year, over 3 years, until you go back and you see people who you haven't seen for that long. Because you're with your body every day. So, like, you don't really notice how huge of a difference until, oh, I go back and visit my friends from college. You're like, whoa, we haven't seen you in 3 years. This is what you're like now, you know? So with all that, I would just say that 17-year-old version of Manny, if I was able to, like, speak to him, I'd be like, man, keep going, keep your head up, stay strong. Because he had no clue. He was just like, I'm going to do habits that will better me, and not drink, not smoke, not, not saying that those are going to take you out, but in a way it kind of slows you down, in a way, certain things, certain lifestyle changes I had to make. And I went through phases of life. 4 years ago, Manny was partying every single weekend, like crazy. Like, if I fell asleep on Friday and woke up on Saturday without going out, I would call my friends and be like, whoa, like, we didn't go out last night. They're like, well, we called you, but you were asleep. And I was like, nah, we're going out today. Like, and I felt like I need to always just be on the scene. And then I remember one day, my friend told me, he said, hey, like, a lot of people ask you for advice. You should be a coach or mentor or something. You should really get serious about it. Make it into a business. He was like, this club and all that, it gets old, man. Like, it gets, I mean, I would be sitting up on the table in somebody's section and all that. Like, it was crazy. No, it's shenanigans. So, they said, take your coaching and mentoring and how you overcame. That's why I needed to have all the problems I had in my life, so I
There you
could tell
go.
somebody else how to overcome it.
Nice.
I had a real bad concussion, and somebody's asking me, hey, man, how do you overcome that injury? I feel like, for me, I never fully recovered. And I can give them some advice of stuff I did. Like, okay, so this was my day-to-day routine. This is the stuff I focus on. And you have to overcome certain things to be able to even help guide others through it.
What are your habits like? Because you mentioned about as far as having a good routine, a
Oh,
good
yeah.
set of habits.
So,
So, what are your habits like?
so I actually created a guide of 12 things every man must do before noon,
Okay.
right? I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I can tell you how I woke up today.
Okay.
And this is how I wake up 98% of my days. I wake up in my bed and I immediately grab my phone, open up the Bible app.
Mm.
I have my guided scripture. I pray. I thank the Lord. Like I literally get on my knees, thank the Lord for another day that I can impact somebody, or that I can try to like lead them to Him in a way. You know, I am not perfect, so I hope nobody's like, "Oh, you were doing this," or "You." I'm not perfect. There's a lot of flaws in me, but I'm really working on growing in my faith in Christ. So I always have my devotion. That's number one. I then get up. I have gallons of water, spring water. Spring water.
Ta-da!
I literally wake up, I'll go grab spring water, and I'll drink 20 gulps.
Yeah.
I'll drink 20 gulps, like of spring water
Yeah.
every morning. Because I guess when you sleep, you kind of be like dehydrated a little or whatever. I don't know. But I always want to make sure, like, when I use the restroom, my pee is like
Clear.
clear. Yeah. Like
Spring water.
just keeping it real. So I drink 20 gulps of spring water. I then do some push-ups. I'll do like 20 push-ups, shake my arms out, another 20. I'll do like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats. Um, from there, brush my teeth, wash my face, all that type of stuff. Get it, get all fresh, put on some clothes and all that. Cause sometimes I'll be waking up in my robe, if even that. But then after that, I'll make a smoothie. So what are we like? We have devotion, drink water, workout,
Mhm.
brush teeth, wash face, freshen up.
Smoothie.
Smoothie. That's like number 5. So I'll have like a smoothie with some fruits, bananas, blueberries, strawberries, peanut butter, whole bunch of fruits, apple juice, granola oats, and am I missing anything? Raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, grapes, any type of fruit. Just I
Mhm.
mean,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
putting it together. I'll have a smoothie. And then after that, I'll like sit down. I have like a little calendar. I am terrible at planning. Like, bro, I'm the most spontaneous like person. I'll hit somebody up like, "Hey, let's go to the museum today." But I'll write down my goals. Like, okay, what do I want to at least accomplish at bare minimum today? What will push the needle forward? Like what are 5 small tasks that will push the needle forward? And then I try to start working on that. Notice how I did not mention texting anybody back.
Mm.
I did not mention checking Instagram,
Mm.
checking the Snapchat, because
Mhm. Mhm.
like I actually have an app on my phone called Opal, OPAL, and they didn't pay me to sponsor this, but it keeps Instagram and like social media apps closed. So, like if you open my Instagram, if you try to open my Instagram app, it will like say, "Hey, get back to work. You got work to do."
Mm.
Like literally, if you click on it, and then that's on to like 6 p.m. So I try to stay off of social media, because it's a doom. You'll be doom scrolling. How much of your life have you wasted on social media?
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the social media now, speaking of, what's that like for you? Like for someone who, I think for a lot of cases, we never thought it would be something like this as we were young and growing older. We were a fan of the media in a way because maybe we had saw that vision of us being in the media, but social media is completely different.
Oh yeah.
What how distracting can that be for a man?
Oh yeah. Social media. I mean, I'm just thinking back in 2015. That was 10 years ago.
Mm.
I was graduating high school, and I was really like always on Snapchat. Like Instagram was there, but it wasn't as crazy as it is today. Today, social media will have guys lose their purpose.
Mm.
So many guys have lost their purpose
Mm.
because they're sitting there, scrolling, looking at this girl, looking at that girl. Yes, these girls look amazing. They look good. Yes, they do. And I even get distracted sometimes. But you have to lock in, brother. You have to lock in.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
Like, you have to limit. Everybody check your screen time on your phone and see how much you've been on your phone today. And like, think about how just if you took a quarter of that time and worked towards your purpose, towards something that you're passionate about, it could be anything, like anything, you would be so much further ahead. All that time adds up, days, weeks, months. This year, you spent hours and hours on social media. And It can get distracting, but that's where your mind, you got to shift your mind. I even get distracted. There's been days where like I did not get my stuff done and I'm like, dang, I watched everybody's Instagram story and just seeing what they were up to and I got locked in, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard Andrew Tate mention something like a few years back. He spoke about there are two types of people in the world. There are producers and then there are consumers. And so what is, if you don't mind breaking that down from your expertise and your level and your vision of life, how does that look for you whenever you notice that certain people are producers and certain people are consumers?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So first I want to say um these are just my viewpoints, my opinions, just in case, because I know people will run and be like, "Oh, he loves Andrew Tate." Like, no, 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 no. Just in case anybody wants to say that, no, these are my viewpoints and opinions. Everybody got their own viewpoints and opinions, including you. So anybody can think the way that they think.
For sure.
For me, this is Emmanuel Dixon, Manny Dixon speaking. For me, I want to be a producer 80 to 90% of the time. I want to be a consumer 10% to 20%
Mm,
because it's still good to consume because now you can see, okay, what works, what doesn't work. But you want to be producing. You do not want to be consumers of Netflix, consumers of social media, consumers of just everything. Like you don't want to be on the best way I can put it is I play sports, right?
right.
I ran track, I played baseball, but my two biggest sports was basketball. I played basketball my whole life, and then I did boxing in college. And
Mm.
that also helps with your mindset because you getting punched in the face and you still have to keep going.
Mm.
But the two biggest sports I played was basketball and boxing. I hated sitting on the bench playing basketball. That is a consumer. You are watching the game. I want to be in the game. I want to be scoring. I don't care if the crowd is yelling, booing me, saying I suck, or cheering me. I want to be in the game. You know, that's the producer. The consumer is the ones who's cheerleading and all that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's it's not wrong with that. If that's your role in this world, then do that. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. It's harder to be a producer because you're taking action. You're not sitting down at that point. Like you're in the game, I don't even really like watching sports these days. Like
Mm.
I used to when I was
Interesting.
like I used to like watching, I mean, unless it's a championship game,
Yeah.
unless it's a Super Bowl or, the NBA playoffs, I don't like watching regular season games or none of that cuz it's like I'm watching somebody else live their life. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Yeah.
it's entertaining, but
Wow.
I want to be, it's either I'm in the game or it's nothing. Like, I want to be producing. I want to be making stuff happen. I want to be, working on myself. And I want everybody to do that. Think about how different the world would be if everybody was doing the job that they like, that, that they were passionate about, that they were able to like produce for something that they enjoy. A lot of people are living the most terrible lives for themselves because their mindset. Like even my job, I'm not gonna lie, it's not my first choice. It's not. I wouldn't wake up and be like, yeah, like this is it. This is what I've been wanting to do my whole life. Like no, 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 it pays the bills.
Yeah.
But when I'm not working, oh, you best believe I'm doing something to work on myself to produce.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody, I hope everybody out there is doing something every day for themselves that their purpose that they're passionate about.
As a boxer, from the experience that you have with that being someone, because you broke down the basketball part as far as producing and consuming, how does that look like for the sport of boxing?
Oh yeah, boxing, man, that's a different animal. That's a different boxing's a different beast.
Yeah,
Cause I did boxing for like 3 years.
that's good.
All of my fights was very different, like very intense. When I like, I will say this: I think every man should learn some form of combat sport. You just never know. You just never know when you might have to use it. I don't care if it's karate, jujitsu, whatever, boxing, martial arts, whatever. But boxing taught me, and my boxing coach, old, super old dude, he used to like coach like Sugar Ray Leonard, and it was crazy because he literally would. I would go to the boxing gym. He'll make me do 300 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 300 squats, jump rope for 30 minutes, hit the punching bag for another 30 minutes, go run around the football field 5 times with 2 long sleeve sweats on. So I would be sweating like crazy. And then he'll tell me to go home. And I'll be like, dang, I didn't even get to like box in the ring today. He's like, go home. I did that for like 6 or 7 months before I even stepped in the ring,
Wow.
you know? And the reason why he had me doing all the shadow boxing and all that without fighting anyone was he wanted me to build muscle memory and repetition because he told me, he said, all it takes is one wrong punch and you have a mess up eye for the rest of your life.
Oof.
And that's the reality of it. That is the reality of it. Like when I was boxing, I punched someone before and like it really caused them their tooth to fall out. Like you can get permanent stuff from that. But um with boxing, when you're in that ring, it correlates so well with life that if you realize when you're in that ring, there is nobody and nothing that anyone can do to save you. It's just you and your opponent. Basketball, you could have a teammate to pass the ball to. If you're a little bit tired, you can, run back on defense a little. Boxing, you're in that ring and it's just you and your opponent. And when you're getting punched in the face, and this is a lot like life, when life punches you in your mouth, your nose is bleeding and all of that, what are you going to do? What type of person are you? Are you going to fight or are you just going to lay down on the mat? When you get knocked down and they're counting 1, 2, 3, counting up to 10, do you just lay there? A lot of people do. They accept defeat. Or do you find that little bit of mustard seed of strength to like get back up and keep going? And it's okay to get knocked down in life. We all have our own problems. People don't even speak about. Everybody wants to show their highlight reel on social media. I have problems. Everybody got problems. But what do you do to overcome it? And that is what I believe really excelled me was doing boxing because it was not just the fighting and that, but it teaches you life lessons that you can learn in the world, but it teaches you it in a different way. So that's why it's like I feel like for me, I get my like grit from like I know what pain feels like. I know what it's like to lose this or lose that. Like my mind says, unless somebody's dying or is about to die, you can overcome almost anything. You know, almost anything. Like you can set your mind over, but like one thing that will break me is like my parents. If my parents pass away, God forbid. I mean, it's all gonna happen, but like that will break me. You
Yeah.
know. But everything outside of that, my car got totaled before. Okay, it sucks. I'm gonna overcome it. My apartment got flooded. Like the craziest thing, like the water thing broke and my whole apartment, everything got wet. Okay, this sucks. Okay, I'm gonna overcome it. I got a concussion. I lost my job. I'm losing my money. I'm losing everything. My health is down. My finances are losing. What you have to like shift your mindset. Yeah. Dang, I'm rambling. I'm going crazy. What the crap? Yo, if I ever need to like just if I'm talking too much, just throw a hand up or
Nah, man, everything's good. It's real dope. Opening up towards those things of what you just discussed about the two sports. I kind of want to travel more into that as far as the question goes, as far as saying the values of what it is that you have, right? I mean, you touched on those things as far as what those look like when you get involved with your alignment in life. What are some things that you can hand out to other men that each man should have within their own values? How to elevate their values?
oh yeah. Um there's a lot of rules to this and I don't expect people to remember all of them, but some of the top ones that I will always stand on is no matter how much money you make, people will always remember how you made them feel. And your money can make them feel. The way that you treat them, the way that you treat people with respect. My mom and dad always said treat the janitor like the CEO and the CEO like the janitor. Everybody's human. We all bleed the same blood. Don't look down on anybody, And I think we all have a journey too. That's why growing up, I went to 4 different high schools. I was around a lot of different backgrounds, African American, white, Hispanics, Philippine, like all different backgrounds. And I'm grateful for it because it's like I can go in any room and I can almost adapt and be a chameleon and be able to be in a corporate room and talk very proper and hey, we're going to do our SAP implementation today and these are the segments that we're going to review and talk like that. But now also if I go into like kind of a rougher area, I can talk however I need to be able to pick up on what's going on or what's going down.
Yeah.
Um but what I will say is with your morals and values, lean on that. You don't want to go through this world doing others dirty because people are gonna remember that. People are gonna remember that. You don't want to do people dirty. You don't want to disrespect others. Um, Treat people with respect, and also don't be afraid of doing stuff for other people, expecting nothing in return. I think a lot of times people do stuff for other people, like, oh, they're gonna do this for me. Like sometimes, like do stuff for others just because you want to, be a good person. I think a lot of people are so like far away from that, and it's just like everything's so transactional, and it's like what happens to just helping people just because you are in the position to help them. You might have once needed help, or you later on might need help, and just do it just because. But another thing is, wait, what was the question again? My bad. I'm all over the place, yo. Jeez Louise,
Nah,
crap.
he was killing it. No, he was going in.
Well,
It was the values, like the
oh
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
values. Yeah.
Values. Yeah, I just think when you're dealing with people, they're not going to remember how much money you had or what car you drove, or they're going to remember how you made them feel.
Mm.
And I'm grateful that throughout my life, to the best of my ability, I've been able to bring some type of light to some people's lives, in different ways. I've had, a guy call me and say like, "Hey, bro, like you really like helped me with this, and I can't thank you enough. You helped me navigate this." I'm like, "Bro, don't even thank me. Like,
Mm.
I'm glad that I was in the position to be able to do that or even be a blessing, you know. And I think a lot of people go through this earth alone. Don't be afraid to go out and do something different because I think a lot of people are programmed. It's like the Matrix, bro. Like in the Matrix, like everybody is just like, wake up, go to work, do this, do that, do this. It's like, do something to break out the Matrix, disturb the program. Who said that you had to be in this box? Practice some free will, go out and adventure. Go out and meet somebody new. If you're shy and you don't really talk to a lot of people, that's okay. Go to a coffee shop and start one convo with somebody. You could practice some free will,
Mm.
um, and it will help you with your communication and your articulation and being in different environments. Don't stay comfortable with where you're at. Another life hack:
Mm.
any man watching this, any young man watching this, move out of your home state at some point.
Mm.
You don't have to be forever. Even if you do it for like a year, it would teach you something.
Mm.
It will allow you to grow in a different way.
How so?
Man, so I'm from Detroit. I moved to Atlanta. I moved to DC due to my dad's job. But then after DC, I had a choice: either stay in DC or move somewhere else. Any of my friends would say, "Oh, you're staying in DC, like you know everybody here. You're good. Like you're set." My mindset was I felt like a flower in a pot that needed to go to a bigger pot. Sometimes you're that flower in the pot, and you've reached your max. You could stay there at your max, but allow yourself the opportunity to grow and move somewhere for 6 months, a year, a few years. I ended up moving to Houston. And honestly, it was a great decision. I thought Houston was like people riding on horses and stuff. Like I did not know it was like this at all. Like my friend was like, "Bro, move to Houston," because I originally was going to move to LA. I'm like, he's like, move to Houston. He's like, bro, your money's gonna go farther and it's cool vibes. I came down to visit and it's actually city life, you know, like there's a lot to do out here. So much. Like Tuesday, I went to a salsa class. There's free salsa classes on Tuesday at 7 p.m. And Saturday, I go to a yoga class. Monday, I go to a run group. Wednesday and Thursday, I do boxing workouts. Like every day, it's always just something new, something to get into. Sunday, I go to church, um, and then grab brunch with the guys. And it's just like I know how comfortable it is staying in your home state. And honestly, the move might teach you, oh, I like my home state better. But I think every guy at some point moving out your home state is a life hack because
Mm,
you're comfortable with your friends, you're comfortable with your family.
mm,
It allows you to see the world differently, see a different place, and also traveling. Traveling do be kind of expensive, but figure out ways to navigate it. Go travel, go see a different part of the world, see how people are living. It's gonna make you grateful. It's
yeah,
gonna make you real grateful.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Uh, hmm. What would be the reason today, as far as friendships? Meaning, let me ask that in a different light. Friendships are important, as you stated earlier. You are pretty much who you surround yourself around with. Um, is it possible that men and women can be friends?
Yeah, I got a lot of women friends,
Okay.
and they're like, they put me on so much game. Like we literally chop it up about anything. They talk to me about the guys who they're dealing with. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, as a guy, boom, boom, boom. This is what this means. Or oh yeah, you're tripping. Like I literally would tell my women friends like, yo, you're tripping. Like or like, oh no, they're tripping. And then they tell me like that's why I think it's important. I know a lot of guys for a lot of people actually probably would think that it's not possible to just be friends as guys and girls. I would just ask you to open your brain up to a different perspective. You don't have to agree or disagree, but open this idea up. If you're able to be friends with the opposite gender, whatever, and they have different viewpoints and different perspectives on things, that you don't always have to just look at the opposite gender as, oh, this is somebody I got to get in a relationship with. Like, I literally have a lot of women friends who I can literally go over at any time of the day and just be kicking it, just be chilling. We could go grab food, talk about life, and then not even on some relationship type stuff. It's really helped me a lot in life
Mm.
because I minored in women's studies in college too, by the way. So
Mhm.
I actually in college, I went into college doing mechanical engineering. About my second year, I woke up. I was like, "Yo, this crap is stressful. Like this crap is crazy." I changed my major to information science, and then I minored in women's studies. And I think every guy at some point needs to take a women's studies course because it
Mm.
teaches you so much. Like women are typically more emotionally driven and nurturing. Men are typically more like labor workers and logic, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But it's a yin to a yang. It's like beautiful because you need both. You do need both. Like you need that balance. And a lot of guys are just, they just want to see somebody and oh, I want to take them to my bed. Like no, like chill, chill, brother, chill. Get to know them. Get to know, stimulate their mind. Not their legs. You feel me? All right, that's crazy. All right, we're getting off the grid. But yeah, I do got a lot of women friends who are literally like they're cool. Like we call each other, chop it up, all that, and it's important. It's important to get out of your friend group, get out of just the normal day to day people that you're talking to. Talk to all different types of people.
Yeah.
Learn different cultures, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. What's with the battle with men and women? I notice. I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What are your thoughts on that? Like,
Man, social media destroyed relationships and romance and all that.
yeah.
But I would say this, like, just in general, like, why are we arguing and tearing each other down? I'm tired. Like, we're supposed to be working together. We only got this one life, and y'all sitting here like arguing about who pays the bills, do this, who do that. Do what works for you.
Yeah.
Do what works for you, and stop looking at social media to plan out your relationship. You know, I think too many people are like, oh, based on social media, they need to do this, this, and this, and this. And it's like, do what works. If there was no social media, you wouldn't be so easily influenced by all these other people. Are you gonna be a leader or a follower? Like, do what works for you, and stop arguing. Man and woman, we should be working together. Like, stop it. Like, we
Yeah.
got to be working together just in general to grow relationships and build. You can't be both guys in. You know, you open up Instagram right now. I guarantee you, within 30 seconds, I could find somebody posting about women need to be doing this, or a man should be doing this, or blah 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 blah, and all that. It's like,
Why is it like that?
it's so toxic. It's so toxic, and it's like, man, just do what's best for you, what works for you, and treat people right, treat people with respect, and be in the moment. Like, I'm an adventurous person. I'm extremely spontaneous. Like, probably this weekend, I'm probably going get on my motorcycle and zoom down to Galveston Beach. I might take somebody with me, and
There you go.
we'll talk about life. We'll talk about deep questions and just enjoy the memory. You know, um, another thing, I think too many people rush into relationships because they're the puzzle piece of, oh, I need to have a relationship, I need to get married, just has to be filled. And then people are filling that with the wrong person because you ain't take the time to get to know them in the different seasons. What makes them happy, sad, mad, go crazy. Take the time to get to know people. Stop just trying to, oh, I want to be boyfriend, girlfriend. Take the time to get to know people. You'll start to see any green flags. You'll start to see the red flags. Just slow it down a little.
Supposedly, there's a thing going on as rating wise, saying that, in at least in this country, it's being discussed to say that we aren't producing enough children as what we used to do. Like, and I can kind of see that in some light because my father, he's 10 out of 12 brothers and sisters, right? That's a lot,
That is a lot.
you know? Uh,
My dad had 9 brothers and sisters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And my mom. My mom had like 10 brothers and sisters. Yeah.
yeah. So, like, I never thought of me doing that for some odd reason to say that I want to produce like that. Um, and this goes into a topic of relationships, I guess, right? So, I guess how did we switch from being able to grow so much like that to where it's only one, two, or three?
Hmm. That's a deep question. I
Yeah.
never even really thought about it, to be honest, because, um, yeah, that is crazy. Both of my parents, they came from 10 kids, 10 brothers and sisters. And then I got 3 younger sisters. So my family's like 4. I really don't know. That is a question that I do not have the answer to at all.
Well, I mean, as far as like where you see yourself as, do you like? I guess the question is, do you see yourself having a
Oh,
family
10
in that way?
kids? I don't see myself having 10 kids. Me personally, I would like to have, when it's the Lord's will, and if I get married, a son and a daughter. Like I said, if it's the Lord's will,
Yeah,
I will prefer a son first and then a daughter so that my son could watch over the daughter.
for
I'm
sure,
going to teach my son how to box.
for
I'm going to teach
sure.
my daughter how to box too, but my son for sure. I'm not going to say like, oh, he has to box, but I'm just going to teach him that self defense because I don't want him to get bullied at all
Mm-hmm.
during his upbringing. But it's part of the canon of, that's like one of, like, there's like 5 canon events in a man's life when they get a heart broken by the girl that they like, if they're getting bullied or, picked on by other kids. Financial canon event is if they lose all their money or they're really broke, that could change people. It does change people.
Yeah.
If they lose their health, let's say they have a football injury or sports injury, or they're like, for instance, me with the concussion, like, um, or something happens to a family member. Those are like events that really changes a man's like trajectory in life. But to go back to your question, I really don't know. For me, as of right now, I'm patient. I'm extremely patient because I know choosing your partner and all that can it's almost kind of like the stock. I know people might not like this analogy, but you put your stock in the wrong place and it tanks you. You
Mm-hmm.
put your stock in the right place and it elevates you. That's how relationships should kind of be looked at, not financially wise, but just how would that other person mesh with you? Are how will you be mentally, emotionally? Will the days be draining being with that person, or will they flourish and you actually enjoy the memories, moments, and times with that person? That's why it's so important. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the marriage counselor or relationships and all that, but it seems like divorce rates are kind of high and all that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Do people not take enough time to really understand that person? Are y'all gonna be able to work through all y'all different problems? And to anybody who did have a divorce, listen to this. Don't come at me. I promise. Like it happens, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that y'all at least realize, like, okay, y'all are better off separated.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really patient, man. Especially with that. That's bigger than the job you choose, the college degree.
Yeah.
Your partner is another piece of you.
Yeah.
I've been into relationships, so during those relationships, it's like my partners during that time that I was with, um, they at times brought me up, at times brought me down, but like I'm grateful for them. I learned a lot, you know.
What you learn?
Shoot. First relationship was in college. We dated for 2.5, 3 years basically. That was my first relationship. So, you're like, oh, we're getting married, you're deep in love and all that type of stuff. And they were great people. Like, they were good. Um, I did notice some differences that I should have realized earlier on, but I ignored them. Sometimes we ignore the red flags. That's another thing. When you in love, you be having them love shades on and all that crap. You be like, it's almost like other people can see it before you. But my second relationship, um, she was a longtime friend first. Like we known each other like what 9 years, going on 10 years. She's a great person as well. I would never speak bad about anybody who I've ever talked to or any of that because it's like even though it didn't work out, it doesn't mean that y'all have to be hating each other and all that.
Mm.
Life is too short. I don't hate anybody on this earth. Like
Yeah.
even people who's done me dirty. It's like okay, like I just don't trust you. But like life is too great, man. Like so, my second relationship, I learned a lot about her. I learned a lot about myself. She was a great person, and we dated for what 2 years. Um, you know, you as you're on your purpose and as you're growing, one thing I would say, at least with me, a question I like to like. Let's say if I was out adventuring, I'm on a little spontaneous date with somebody's daughter. I like to call them adventures. I don't even like calling them dates, adventures. But whatever. One of the questions I asked him is, without blaming your ex, why did your last relationship fail?
Mm. That's a
That's
good
going
one.
to tell you if they could be accountable or not. Some people are going to be like, oh, I let them get away with this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, there's so many different ways to ask this question to get the answer,
Mm-hmm.
right? It could be like, what could you have done better in that relationship? Or it could be like, without blaming your ex, why did your last relationship fail? For me, I was so deep in my purpose that there were times where I wasn't fully present. Like you're there, but I'm only listening to like 70, 75, 80% of what you're saying.
Mm.
And I remember she would be like, are you even listening to me? I'm like, oh shoot, I'm sorry. Let me turn my phones off. Let me make sure I'm locked in. I'm like, my bad, baby. My bad, sweetheart. But you know, I I've since then I learned that. So now like when I'm with people or I'm talking, I'm out to eat. I mean, I'm on the clock for work right now, technically for my electrical engineering job. So I got my phone still
Yeah.
facing up just in case something's going down. But if I'm typically out with people, I turn my phone off and I turn it upside down. Like I want to be present. I want to be fully there because we could leave, somebody end up passing that day, or we not see each other ever again. You just never know. I want to be wherever I'm at is where I need to be. I want to be in the moment. So that's what I learned from my last relationship. Also, just emotional intelligence, being able to read the room, being able to be more present um, with you're almost taking on their problems as well. When you're in a relationship, you got your problems and their problems, and y'all got to work through it together because now it's you're trying to be more like one. Um, but yeah, I mean, I learned a lot, patience, all of that. Other people, depending upon their upbringing, they might have had their parents solve all their problems. They might not have gone through that much. They might not know how much a dollar even costs because they might not have ever worked, or whatever the case may be. Understand that that plays a huge role, and huge, for me, it's like I've gone through so much bull crap and so much stuff that it's like, okay, if I went out right now and somebody stole my car, okay,
Mm.
I'm gonna be upset, bothered, but like it's not gonna break me. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep it going. We gotta
Mm-hmm.
keep rolling. Next play. That's my
Yeah.
mindset. Next play. All right, what we gotta do? Let's get it.
Does that strengthen your relationship with God?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, what's the question?
As far as everything that you've experienced, pretty much,
Oh
did
yeah,
that how has
bro.
your experience with God
I think
enhanced like that?
like for real, and I tell this to the guys who I mentor, because like literally we'll have on Thursdays I have my one-on-one check-ins. We'll talk about what they're doing, what they need to do better, next steps, all that. At the end of all of our calls, I like to have a quick prayer with them, right? Whatever they believe in, I'm not pressuring nobody on who they should believe in or what they should do with their life, whatever, do what you want. But for me, because one of the guys asked me, he said, bro, you go to church. I'm thinking about going to church now. I'm like, if you want help looking for a church, or if you want to come check out my church, anytime. I think my relationship with Christ is what has brought me this far.
Mm.
Now I think I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because my name's Emmanuel. That means God with us. And I noticed that God has like really blessed and had favor over me. And I'm so grateful for that, because I don't take it for granted, even though sometimes, it just kind of slips your mind. But I'm like, no, no, no. Like, Jesus is what has got me this far for me. Everybody has their different journey, and everybody could, do whatever that they want to do. But that's for me. Um, and I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, and I don't like judging others, because everybody has their. You might have a problem with whatever. Let's say somebody has a problem with smoking weed or whatever. I'm not saying it's a problem for everybody who smokes weed. Do what you do. For me, I have a problem eating sweets. Like, I eat a lot of sweets,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Like, if I have dessert, like I just be going crazy. But everybody has different problems.
Yeah.
So I don't want. One thing I learned: don't judge nobody. Like, the guys who I mentor, they come to me with all types of problems, like all types of stuff, and they say, "Bro, you never judge me." I'm like, "Bro, just because I don't deal with that problem, I got problems in my life, and we all do. We're human. Nobody's perfect." I hate when somebody says one bad thing and then they get canceled or whatever, and it's like, we're human. We make mistakes. Have some grace. Have some mercy. Um, but all that I've gone through, I don't want to just call on the Lord when I'm going through stuff. I
Right.
literally, every time I get in the car, every time I get in the motorcycle, I pray, Lord, thank you for today. I'll literally be riding my motorcycle and like just praying, like, thank you, Jesus, for, just another day,
That's good.
another, like, I have my hands, I got my, feet, I got like, from the concussion, I do have a lot of like little problems. Like, I can't feel my hands and feet 100%. I don't know. Ever since I got the concussion, like when I wash my hands, they're like numb. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but um, I'm still here, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have problems. Some people woke up today, their mom's in the hospital. They were going to have to say their goodbyes. I'm grateful. Like, there's so much different crap in this world that could be taking you out, but the problems I have are temporary. Whether it's 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, they're temporary. They could be solved. This isn't forever. Forever is like death, and then you're done. And during that time period, it's like, for me, I try to max out all the stats like a video game character.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Okay. Uh, I haven't had the opportunity to ask this part of the question yet. I'll try to make it often here, but financial advice. at least could you put people on game a little bit when it comes down to financial advices in relationships?
Okay. Oh, ooh wee, yo. So shoot, I would say this as a man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And people are not going to agree with this. Some people will. Some people won't. Because some people be like, oh, well, love will, as a man, if you can't even financially provide for yourself, don't even think about dating. Stop it.
That's good.
Stop it. She's going to cost, bro. I promise you. I don't care. Yo, she's going to cost because you're going to be like, oh, shoot, we have to go out to eat this weekend. And then you're going to be like, shoot, like it costs double.
Yeah.
Remember that.
100%.
It costs double
Every
everything that you
time.
do. And I'm not saying, oh, like, it should just be the end all be all. But like, I would say if you're on your purpose as a man, right? You're growing, you're working on getting your first apartment or your first place or whatever it is, your car, whatever. Work on dialing in and staying focused. I wish I did not spend not on my relationships, but just on the times, exploring and, living, there was some people's daughters who did not deserve the time of day. But I mean, it's all part of the journey. I learned a lot from it. I'm grateful for it, honestly. Like, I remember one time I went out to eat with this one girl, and she kept on asking me my zodiac sign. And I'm like, this is before I even knew what zodiac sign. I told her, I said, my birthday's December 10th. And she went up and got to the bathroom and called an Uber and went home. And like, I'm like, dang, you didn't even get a chance to get to know me. Like, this was our first time going out. Like, this was the very, very beginning.
Dang.
We were vibing too. That's the thing. We were vibing. And then she's like, when's your birthday? When's your birthday? And then like, I guess she had a really bad past experience with somebody. And you can't judge people off of that. People be like, oh, I didn't eat today because I'm a Leo. Like, get to know people for who they are. I don't know. I don't nowadays. Like, if somebody's like, "When's your birthday?" I tell them the wrong date first. I tell them the wrong date just to see how they are. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's August 12th." And then if they get all crazy, I knew it. I'm like,
yeah.
it was December 10th.
Stay
miss.
away from you.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I would say, young man, if you're in your 18 to 24 or whatever, and you're working on building yourself, know that any relationship is going to cost. It's going to.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I'm not saying you can't be in a relationship, but like, just focus, brother. Focus.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's
And
good.
another thing is, and I wish I did better at this because especially when I got my first job, I worked at IBM. I was business consultant, project manager for a technology company. That was the first time I like made a little bit of money. Like when you're in college, you broke, like you just broke. But that was the first time I made a little bit of money, And I was like, oh shoot, I was eating out at steak restaurants and all that. That was my first time. Like I was like, wow. But then like I'm grateful for this guy at my job. His name is Faisal. He was a great mentor. He literally looked at me and was like, brother, slow down. You don't have to, just because you didn't know what it was like to have an income and salary, like, why are you eating out like this? Save your money. Like, get your paycheck, pay yourself first. So start saving because you never know. And that's what saved me when I had the concussion was my savings because I basically ran through that crap. But at least I had something to at least sit for months on months without working.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that savings, brother,
Wow.
I would not, it would not have been pretty. But, save up for the rainy days because you just never know. And I definitely got to do better at this myself. So when I'm saying this to myself too,
Word. Yeah. Okay. I think we pretty much covered a lot throughout such little time. I wish we had more time,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, everything happens for a reason. God makes no mistakes. That's the motto I live by a little bit. I think this was an awesome second podcast episode. And the Superior High Value Man podcast, y'all. I think this is dope. Appreciate Manny for coming out.
Oh, man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, bro. It was awesome, man. I look forward to more. I don't think this will be our last time. Hopefully it's not our last time. Hopefully it was impactful to where it's like, yeah, I'll run it up with you again.
Always, bro. Like when you told me about it, I I literally made sure that I was in town this week because normally I'm be traveling and I be all over it. Like next week, I think I'm going to New York for some modeling stuff. But yeah, bro, like I'm glad that we were able to do this. We're producing right now. We're not
Yeah,
consuming. People,
yeah,
somebody's gonna watch it,
yeah.
you know. And even in the beginning, I know how might not be a lot of views, whatever. But you never know who it spoke to. Even if
Right,
I'd rather have 10 people watch my stuff than 10,000 people, and those 10 people are like, "Dang, this is what I took from this. I like changed my life with this, and this." You're having an impact on like people in this world. So,
yeah.
you know, you're doing something great with
Thank you.
this.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Yeah, gang. That's it. The Superior High Volume Man podcast. We had Manny here killing it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.